Late last night, new reports from inside Trump's 2026 Economic Review Committee were leaked, and what they reveal is turning heads across the nation. According to multiple insider sources, Social Security is now officially under review for 2026, and President Trump has just hinted at something we haven't heard in years. Another payment boost could be on the way. Yes, you heard that right. A possible new increase in benefits, one that might go beyond the traditional cost of living adjustment. And this time, it's tied to something much bigger than inflation. This could be about delivering on a campaign promise, one Trump made years ago, to protect and strengthen Social Security for every senior who spent decades paying into the system. And now, with inflation cooling, but prices still painfully high for millions of retirees, Trump's latest comments are sparking hope and a lot of questions. What exactly does this review mean? How soon could changes roll out? And most importantly, how much more money could end up in your pocket? Stay with me, because in just a moment, we'll break down the numbers, the timeline, and what this surprise review could really mean for your 2026 Social Security check. Now, let's dig into exactly what's going on, because this isn't just another rumour or recycled headline. Here's the truth. The Social Security Administration, under pressure from both Congress and the White House, has quietly entered what officials are calling a program-wide benefits reassessment for 2026. That means every major part of the system, from monthly payment formulas to eligibility thresholds, is being reviewed. And the driving reason behind it? The 2026 Trust Fund forecast. According to newly released data from the Federal Budget Office, the Social Security Trust Fund's stability window has shortened again, now estimated to last until 2033, possibly even 2032, if inflation continues to rise faster than expected. That tightening timeline has forced the administration to act, and Trump, never one to stay quiet on economic issues, has stepped in with a bold promise. We're reviewing every dollar, every formula, and every benefit to make sure our seniors are not left behind. Those were his exact words during a speech in Palm Beach last week, part of his new 2026 Fiscal Outlook event, which many are calling the Senior Stability Plan. Now, what's unusual is how specific this review has become. Leaked documents from the committee's internal report, first obtained by American Finance Daily, show that the administration is exploring a new formula for calculating benefits, one that could raise monthly checks beyond standard COLA increases. Dr. Michael Grant, a senior analyst at the Federal Budget Office, told reporters that the administration's team is looking at a dynamic benefits model. In simple terms, that means adjusting Social Security payments not just based on inflation, but also on real cost of living differences by region. So, for example, a retiree living in Los Angeles or Miami, where living costs are far higher, could see a slightly larger benefit boost compared to someone in a lower cost area. That's a major shift from the one-size-fits-all system we've had for decades. But that's not all. There's another piece buried in the review. And this is where the story gets really interesting. Trump's team is reportedly considering a senior bonus credit, an additional payment or tax reduction for those over 70 who have remained in the workforce or continue to pay into the system. Economists are split. Some say this could strengthen Social Security by encouraging late career participation, while others warn it could complicate funding formulas already stretched thin. Meanwhile, the Social Security Administration confirmed late Friday that they are cooperating with the review process and preparing updated payout projections for 2026. That's bureaucratic language for big changes could be on the table. So, what does this mean for you? If you're already collecting Social Security, or you'll be eligible in the next 18 months, this review could decide how much more you receive when the increase takes effect and whether future cost of living boosts will finally catch up to real prices on groceries, housing, and healthcare. And we're not just talking about retirees. Disability and SSI recipients are also included in this reassessment, meaning millions of Americans under 65 could feel the ripple effects too. Now here's where things take a surprising turn. Trump's public comments have sparked a quiet debate inside the Treasury Department, some officials reportedly warning that raising benefits without new funding could accelerate the trust fund's depletion. But others are arguing that the administration might have a plan, possibly linking the boost to projected savings from other entitlement reforms or a growing GDP forecast. One thing is clear. The 2026 review isn't just about cutting costs or plugging gaps. It's about reframing Social Security as a promise kept. And for millions of Americans who've struggled through years of rising costs and stagnant checks, that message is landing loud and clear. Now here's where things get even more personal, because the next part affects your wallet directly. Let's break down exactly how much more you could be getting, who qualifies, and the timeline that could shape your next Social Security deposit. Based on early estimates circulating through the Social Security Administration and the Congressional Budget Office, if this review results in a full benefit adjustment, average retirees could see increases of anywhere from 3.8% to 6.2% starting in early 2026. To put that in real numbers, the current average monthly Social Security check sits around $1,915. Under the proposed adjustment, that could rise to about $2,020 or even $2,035 per month. That's an extra $100 to $120 every month, or roughly $1,200 to $1,400 more per year. For many seniors living on fixed incomes, that's not pocket change. That's the difference between affording medications, keeping up with rent, or finally breathing a little easier at the grocery store. Now, let's add some perspective. The 2023 COLA gave retirees an 8.7% jump, one of the highest in 4 decades, but that was because inflation was out of control. The 2025 COLA, by contrast, is projected to hover around 2.6%, barely enough to offset higher utility and food costs. So if this new 2026 boost comes through, it could act like a second wind for millions of households still catching up. But before you get too excited, there's a catch. Because every time the government reviews Social Security, there's always fine print, and this time is no different. One potential condition being floated by the review committee involves income verification tightening. That means retirees who report other earnings, from part-time work, investments, or pensions, may face a new income review process to confirm benefit eligibility and payment levels. In simple terms, the government wants to make sure that any new increases go first to those who need it most. Now, let's talk about who wins and who might not. If you're receiving retirement benefits and have no other major income sources, you stand to gain the most from this change. If you're on disability or SSI, your payments could also rise, though by slightly smaller margins, maybe around $45 to $60 more per month, according to preliminary projections from the SSA's internal simulations. However, higher earners, those receiving over $3,000 a month or collecting multiple benefit types, might see smaller relative gains. There's also talk of a new eligibility review for upcoming retirees, especially those turning 65 in 2026. Officials are discussing whether to apply the updated formula only to new claimants or to all beneficiaries across the board. If it's universal, everyone benefits. If it's phased in, some people might have to wait until mid-2027 to see the full boost. So when could you actually see this hit your account? If the review is finalized and approved by Congress in the second quarter of 2026, likely around May or June, The first adjusted payments could roll out by September or October 2026. That means your full direct deposit could look very different, bigger, brighter, and hopefully fairer. But there's another twist. Because any benefit increase must be balanced against trust fund projections, the Treasury Department is reportedly weighing whether to introduce a stabilization credit, essentially a safeguard that ensures future boosts don't drain the fund faster. If that passes, you might see slightly smaller increases over a longer period, but it would make Social Security stronger in the long run. Here's what experts are saying about it. Economist Linda Harper from the National Senior Policy Group says, "This isn't about short-term politics anymore. It's about keeping promises to an entire generation of retirees who built the country." And she's right, because whether you voted for Trump or not, every retiree watching this wants the same thing: stability, predictability, and fairness. So let's summarize this part clearly. If the 2026 review is approved, retirees could see checks rise by over $100 a month, disability beneficiaries could see up to $60 more, and new retirees might qualify for adjusted rates tied to regional living costs. But, and this is important, the plan still needs legislative approval. Without it, the review remains just that, a proposal. And that's why the next few months will be critical, because as the review moves from the committee stage to Congress, your awareness and your voice could make a real difference. Now that you know what's happening and how much this review could mean for your Social Security check, let's talk about what you can and should do right now to stay ahead. Because if this plan really moves forward, being prepared could mean the difference between getting your benefit increase on time or waiting months for your update to process. Here are the key steps you need to take, starting today. Step 1. Log into your Social Security account at ssa.gov. This is where you'll see your official payment history, your benefit estimate for 2026, and any alerts tied to the upcoming review. If you haven't created your online account yet, do it now. It takes just a few minutes, and it's your direct line to real-time updates. Step 2. Double-check your direct deposit and mailing information. Each year, tens of thousands of retirees miss or delay payments because of outdated bank details or expired mailing addresses. If a new boost or adjustment rolls out, you want to make sure your information is 100% accurate. Step 3. Review your earnings record. This is crucial. Your lifetime earnings determine your Social Security benefit amount. Go to My Social Security, click on Earnings Record, and make sure every year you've worked and paid into the system is listed correctly. Even a small error from decades ago could cost you hundreds of dollars a year. Step 4. Stay informed about the 2026 review timeline. The committee's next update is expected around March 2026, followed by a draft release in June, and then a final decision by August or September if Congress approves. Mark those dates on your calendar, because those months could define the next decade of Social Security benefits. Step 5. Contact your local Social Security office if you receive SSI or disability benefits. Many SSI recipients will need to confirm their financial status during this review, especially if income thresholds or formulas are updated. The earlier you provide your documents, the smoother your transition will be when adjustments take effect. And here's one more bonus step that most people forget. Check your Medicare connection. If Social Security benefits increase, your Medicare Part B premiums may also adjust slightly. Make sure to compare your net benefit after any changes so you know exactly how much more you'll take home each month. Now, let's talk about mindset for a second. Because while all this news sounds promising, and it truly could be, you have to stay grounded. Government reviews take time. They go through analysis, political debate, and funding approvals. So, patience and preparation are key. But here's the silver lining. The fact that Social Security is under active review in 2026 means one thing: it's being prioritised again. After years of uncertainty, this administration is finally acknowledging the pressure seniors are facing, from rising healthcare costs to the higher cost of living that's never really gone back down since 2022. And if the projections we've seen hold true, millions of retirees and disability recipients could be looking at their biggest real benefit adjustment in over a decade. That's not just a number, that's security, dignity, and a little bit of breathing room for those who've earned it. So don't tune out, tune in. Keep watching official updates from ssa.gov, follow trusted finance and retirement news sources, and make sure you're subscribed right here on this channel. Because when the official numbers drop, we'll be the first to break them down for you, clearly, simply, and honestly. Before we close, remember this: you've spent your entire life working, paying in, and contributing to the system. You've earned every penny that comes back to you. And while Washington debates the numbers, the policies, and the politics, you deserve to know the truth. The review may still be in motion, but change is coming. And if the president's hints are anything to go by, that change could mean real money in your pocket by 2026. So stay hopeful, stay informed, and most of all, stay ready, because the next update could be the one that finally puts seniors back on top. Thanks for watching. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for the next major Social Security update before it hits the headlines. You've earned your benefits. Now it's time to protect them. See you in the next update.